Well, let's take a moment and talk about angels. Now, I'm going to just take a very few moments to just kind of discuss this massive topic, and there is much information that you can find on this. I suggest you stick to what is biblical because the New Age has a whole lot of things about angels and angel activity and witchcraft also. So let's not go into those areas to learn what we need to learn about angels because it's going to be faulty and it's going to open the door for demonic activity. We want to stay biblically based, and so that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to look at the Bible and we're going to look at angels. So yes, as I was looking at Genesis 3 verse 24, it talks about the angels, the cherubim that were set at the gate, at the entranceway to the Garden of Eden. And God had given them flaming swords of fire to stand and to guard and to protect the way into the Garden of Eden. And we know that this happened because Adam and Eve had sinned and they had been removed from the Garden of Eden, and they had been, and God in his mercy and in his grace did not want them entering back into the Garden of Eden. And one of the reasons he said is so that they would not eat of the tree of life and live forever. But I think that there might be some other reasons too. The reality is, why wouldn't they want to go back into the garden? It was in the garden that their provision was met. They had no struggles. They had no concern. They were protected. They were kept. It was just this utopia-like experience. And how many of us have ever been in a situation that when you first get saved, it seems like you can think of a prayer and God will answer it? Well, that's great. And as great as it is, sometimes we don't get to stay there. I don't know that anybody gets to stay there. There's this thing that he wants us to do, and that is to grow up, eat meat, and mature in the things of God. And so that means that all of that provision that was provided in the Garden of Eden, sometimes he wants us to dig a few things out. He wants us to look into the scripture and search a thing out. Kings search a thing out. So as we're looking at this verse, what popped into my head was, well, where else in the scripture does it talk about angels guarding something or protecting something? So if this took me maybe 5 minutes, I'm sure there's a ton more information on this. If you want to do the research yourself, I plead with you, go ahead and do it. Find your information and send it to me. I'd be more than willing to look over it. But the one thing that they will guard and protect is the throne. The throne. And Isaiah 61, it says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw in a vision the Lord sitting on a throne, high and exalted, with the train of his royal robe filling the most holy part of the temple. And in verse 2, it says, above him, seraphim, heavenly beings stood. Each one had 6 wings, and with 2 wings he covered his face, and with 2 wings he covered his feet, and with 2 wings he flew. They protect the throne. They guard the throne. They guard Jesus on the throne. So going on, we find in Ezekiel 10, verse 19, that they guard the temple. And as I looked at them, the cherubim lifted up their wings and rose up from off the earth. And they departed with the wheels beside them, and they stood still at the entrance of the east gate of the house of the Lord. And the glory and the brilliance of God of Israel hovered over them. So they guard the temple, they guard the throne, and they guard the presence of God. And it says in Ezekiel 10:18, it says, and the Shekinah glory of the Lord departed from the threshold of the temple and rested over the cherubim. We also see that in Isaiah chapter 6, that they saw, it says that Isaiah said he saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and exalted, and the train of his royal robe filled the most holy part of the temple, and above him seraphim, heavenly beings, stood. And we know that when they built the tabernacle, the temple, or the tabernacle in the wilderness, that in the most holy place, over the altar, there was cherubim and their wings touched. And so that's also symbolic of the fact that angels are there to protect, and it reveals the presence of God. Well, all of these things are great. Yes, absolutely true. So the number one thing that angels do, my takeaway of this, is that they are there to protect and there to guard and there to shield, maybe even the presence of the Lord, the glory of God, the things of God. But the last thing that angels do is they guard us. And we see that in Psalm 91, verse 11, just one verse out of many. And it says, "For he will command his angels in regard to you to protect and defend and guard you in all your ways of obedience and service." My point in all of this is this. Yes, there are angels that are here to protect us, to guard us, to lead us. And that's great. And we will receive all of those things. But remember where these angels come from. These angels come from the throne. They come from the presence of the Lord. They come from being in the presence of the holiness of God. And so when you find yourself in a situation where you know that you've been protected, know that that angel was sent to you by the presence of God himself, sent to guard and protect you. And that's how valuable you are. That's how important we are to him. That's how much he loves us. That's how much the call that he placed upon your life matters to him. Because the thing that he put inside of you, he wants you to accomplish, and he wants you to finish it. He wants it to come forth in great glory and honor for his name's sake, for his presence, to see people saved and healed and delivered and set free. That's what his desire is. And so when you find yourself wondering, what is that scent that I smell? It just might be an angel that has come from the presence of the Lord to enter into your situation, to do the bidding of the Lord, to help you to move into all that God has called you to be and to do. So be blessed today. God is with you. He is for you. You are called. You are anointed. And his hand rests upon you.